So I've put together this video and another video because I can't be there today in class, unfortunately. I'm very sorry that I couldn't join you all today, but I'm not feeling very well, and it seemed like it was better for me just to stay home and let Leslie lead the class, but to send along a couple of videos so that I could make sure that I was explaining some of the things that I think are really important for the persuasive essay assignment. So thank you all for your patience with this unusual class session, and thank you, Leslie, for being so flexible and helping out with the class like this. Alright, so what we're going to start with is just reviewing the structure of the first 3 paragraphs of this 5-paragraph persuasive essay. Now, you've all been working on an outline of the first 3 paragraphs of your persuasive essay already, so I think you understand this, but it's good for us to review just to make sure we're all on the same page. So we're going to look together at the model essay, the sample persuasive essay that you've already looked at in class, and we're going to use that to remind ourselves of the different parts of the organization of this kind of persuasive essay. So, we'll start at the beginning. This is the introduction, the first paragraph of the essay. And let's look at this first page. Imagine coming out of your room in the shared apartment to smell a delicious curry. Coconut milk, ginger, garlic, spices, bubbling on the stove. Now, I'm sure you all remember what we called this part of the introduction. It's the hook. The hook is the very beginning of the essay. It's the first part of the introductory paragraph. We call it the hook because it's meant to hook the reader, to grab the reader's attention so that they want to keep reading and they don't put the essay down. Just like a hook gets stuck in the fish's mouth and the fish can't get away. Now, this particular hook uses just a little bit of descriptive writing to try to capture the reader's attention. We have the sense of smell, as well as of sight. We can smell, ginger, garlic, and we can maybe see the bubbling curry on the stove. So that description gives the reader something to really imagine in a vivid way. And then hopefully they're interested in why we're talking about this curry, and they'll keep reading. And then we have the longest part of the introduction. This is a few sentences. This fantasy of delicious home-cooked meals could become a reality. The 9 of us who live in this apartment decided last year to share the chores as well as the grocery bill, cooperating to make our lives easier and to come a little closer together as roommates. These days, we have plenty of ingredients around all the time thanks to a couple of roommates with cars who can shop more easily for groceries, while the rest of us do other chores, like keeping the kitchen and bathrooms clean. Now, do you remember what this middle part of the introductory paragraph is? That's right, it's the background information. It gives you information about the situation in the place where you want to make a change, and it's information that the reader needs in order to understand what comes after it. So this gives you a little bit of background about the apartment and the people who live there and how they've already started to share things and do things together in order to improve their lives. And that's helpful for the writer because then he's going to suggest a new change, a new way of sharing and working together. And his suggestion of this change, his proposal of this plan, happens in the very last sentence of the introduction. Now, each of us should start making 2 big meals a month to help feed our housemates. since if we each put in a little bit of effort, all of us can enjoy a better quality of life throughout the month. Now, do you remember what this ending of the introduction is called? Right. This is the thesis statement. And the thesis statement is only one sentence, but it's the most important sentence in the whole essay. All the rest of the essay is built around this thesis statement. The thesis statement is where you briefly propose your plan, the change that you want to make. And you summarize why it's a good idea. So if we look at the different pieces of the thesis statement, we can see that we have this word should, right? Should is very important. And your thesis statement should have the word should, or it could have the word must, or it could say need to. But the point is that you are not just trying to convince somebody to believe something different, you're trying to convince them to actually do something. So you're going to say that somebody should do something. Right? Each of us, that's the people who should be doing something, should start making 2 big meals a month to help feed our housemates. That's the change that is being proposed. And then we have the reason that we should do it. If we each put in a little bit of effort, all of us can enjoy a better quality of life throughout the month. That's the main, that's a summary of the reasons why we should adopt this plan. Now, notice that this isn't a super complicated plan, right? It's basically just making 2 big meals a month to help feed our housemates. This is a 5-paragraph essay. It's a pretty short essay, and you don't have enough room to give a really big, complicated plan. Your plan shouldn't have a lot of different parts. It should be easy to quickly summarize in a phrase like this, and you should still have room to put in the reason why you should make this change within one sentence, okay? So this is the thesis statement. It's the most important sentence in your whole essay. And as I said, you should have a thesis statement in your outline. Even though the outline mostly doesn't have complete sentences, you do need the thesis statement because that's so important to understanding the rest of the essay. Since everything else in the essay is trying to convince us that we should believe this thesis statement and we should make this change. Alright, now let's look at the first body paragraph. Making a rule that each of us will cook 2 times a month will be more practical because cooking 2 big meals at home is actually less work than cooking a little meal for yourself every day, and also cheaper than eating out all the time. Now, we didn't talk about this last time, but there's actually a term for the first sentence of this body paragraph also. This is called a topic sentence. And a topic sentence is usually the first sentence of a body paragraph. Just like the thesis statement is at the end of the introduction and it gives the main idea of the whole essay, the topic sentence is at the beginning of a body paragraph and it gives the idea of that paragraph. It gives the main idea of just that paragraph, not the whole essay. So in this one sentence, we're going to get the basic idea of this entire paragraph, okay? If we make this rule, if we make this change, it'll be more practical because making this change is less work and it's also cheaper, right? That's why it's more practical. So that's the main idea of this paragraph. And then the rest of the paragraph is helping to support that idea. We start with the first part of the idea, which is it's practical because it's less work. Right now, each of us tends to cook a quick meal for herself every evening after work, and then we have some examples of a quick meal: grilled cheese, bowl of pasta. And then the author gives the many steps of the process of making a meal: assembling ingredients, chopping and measuring, heating up a pan or the oven, then washing everything we used. And the author gives these details about the steps of cooking in order to make the point that individuals actually spend a lot of labor on these so-called quick meals during the whole month. However, if each of us makes a bigger effort twice a month, one big meal twice a month, it will add up to 18 meals altogether, because there are 9 roommates. So 18 meals, if that's dinners, that means more than 2 weeks worth of hot meals that you didn't have to prepare yourself. Though cooking 2 big meals for 9 people may seem intimidating, it's a lot less effort than cooking 18 easier meals. So all of these sentences, most of the paragraph, have been helping to prove this basic idea that we saw in the topic sentence at the beginning of the paragraph, which is that making this rule will be more practical because cooking two big meals a month is actually less work than cooking a little meal for yourself every day. Right? All of that helps us to understand and agree with this part of the idea of the paragraph. So it's more practical because it's less work, and according to the topic sentence, it's also cheaper than eating out all the time. And we can see that being supported by the last sentence of the paragraph. Cooking at home for a lot of people is also a lot cheaper than getting takeout from a restaurant, which means it is both cost efficient and labor saving. So the author didn't spend as long trying to convince us that it's cheaper, I guess because he thinks that it's just sort of common knowledge that it's cheaper to cook for a lot of people at home than it is to get food from a restaurant. So, again, you can see in this body paragraph that most of the paragraph is helping to explain and prove the main idea of the paragraph, which we see in the topic sentence, which is the first sentence, right? It's more practical, and here's why. And then the whole paragraph, including the topic sentence, is helping to explain or to prove that we should believe in the thesis statement. Each of us should start making 2 big meals a month to help feed our housemates, since if we each put in a little bit of effort, all of us can enjoy a better quality of life throughout the month. Now, a better quality of life is very general, right? It just means that life is better in some ways. But in this paragraph, we get into more details. This body paragraph gives us details about what better quality of life actually looks like. It looks like less work, right, than cooking a small meal every night. And it also looks cheaper than getting takeout from a restaurant, which are the two, those are the two possibilities if you aren't having a big meal with all your housemates. All right, so that's the first body paragraph, and here's the second body paragraph. Furthermore, cooking for each other this way will be better for our bodies and our souls. Right, so what do we call this first sentence of the body paragraph? The topic sentence. So this is a new topic sentence, and again, it is giving the main idea of this paragraph. Cooking in this new way, adopting my plan, will be better for our bodies and our souls. It's better for us in 2 ways. And then the author goes on to explain how it's better for our bodies, because takeout food isn't healthy, and then the individual meals that we make quickly at home are better than takeout, but they're probably not as well balanced as they could be, right? Often, after a long day of work, we just make a grilled cheese or even eat a bowl of cereal for dinner. We have these very specific examples that help to show that even when we're cooking at home, if we're just cooking for ourselves and we're doing it quickly, it might not be that healthy, right? A grilled cheese isn't a balanced meal. A bowl of cereal certainly isn't a complete dinner. However, if we're planning to make a big meal for the house, we can shop ahead of time for fresh, wholesome ingredients and select a recipe that is tasty but also healthy. And then we have more examples, right? The pasta with shrimp and grilled broccoli, plus salad, baked butternut squash with quinoa, garlic, onion, herbs, and a drizzle of maple syrup, or that yellow curry, which was from the hook in the introduction. These examples help to show, again, how the thesis statement is right. We can all enjoy a better quality of life if we use my plan, right? Doesn't that pasta with shrimp or the curry, doesn't that sound better than a bowl of cereal or some takeout pizza? Meals like this will give us energy, protein, and the vitamins and minerals we can't get from a slice of takeout pizza or a quick grilled cheese, right? A little bit of nutrition science to remind us what a well-balanced meal involves. Even more important, this is a transition, right? Now I'm signaling I'm going to talk about something new, and it's even more important than the point I was just making. Even more important, these home-cooked meals will nourish our spirits by making this apartment into more of a home. By sitting down together several times a month to enjoy a warm meal, we will become more than roommates, a community of people who share not only food but news about our days and the things making us sad or happy. Thus, this new system of meal sharing will make us closer as well as healthier. So this part of the paragraph is supporting this part of the topic sentence. Cooking for each other this way will be better for our souls, right? And then this part of the paragraph was supporting the first part of the topic sentence. Cooking for each other this way will be better for our bodies. And remember, even though these aren't exactly the same thing, healthy for our bodies, healthy for our souls, the author has found a way to put them together into one paragraph because it's about being healthier inside and out, right? It's about being healthier in different ways, and so you're able to fit it together into one paragraph that feels focused, even though it really has a couple of different reasons in it, both of which are helping to support the topic sentence, or the thesis statement, which says that all of us can enjoy a better quality of life throughout the month if we adopt this plan. All right? So, I think you can see from looking at this essay again how the first three paragraphs are fitting together, right? Everything is built around the thesis statement. This one sentence is what you want your reader to agree with by the time they finish reading your essay. So, to make sure that they read the whole essay, you start with a hook to get their attention and keep them reading. Then you give them the background information that they need to understand the situation so that they can understand the thesis statement. Then you give them the thesis statement itself once they're ready. At the end of the introduction, here's the most important sentence. Here's what I want you to believe, what I want you to agree with. And now I'm going to spend the rest of the essay proving to you that you should believe it. And then we have the first body paragraph, which is focused on benefits of adopting the plan, right? The overall benefit of adopting the plan is we can enjoy a better quality of life. How can we enjoy a better quality of life? It will be more practical because it's less work and also cheaper, right? So we can see that this paragraph, starting with the topic sentence, is focused on the benefits of adopting the plan. Now, it might explain the plan a little bit more as it goes along, or it might talk some more about the situation in the apartment. But the focus of the whole paragraph is on the benefits of adopting the plan. Everything is organized around that because it's helping to support this thesis statement, which is about why we should adopt the plan. We adopt the plan because of its benefits, so that's what the body paragraphs are focused on. What are the advantages of doing this instead of sticking with the things we already do? All right, and then we get all the evidence that helps to support these reasons, which in turn support the thesis statement. Okay, so we get the little bits of evidence, the examples, the steps of preparation, and so on. And then here again we get the topic sentence, main idea of the paragraph. Cooking for each other this way will be better for our bodies and our souls. Again, that is better quality of life. Okay? All right. So I hope that this review reminds you of how the first three paragraphs are all working together to convince the reader, to persuade the reader that the proposed plan, that the change, is worth making because it has a lot of benefits. As you work on your own, you want to make sure that you have a strong and clear thesis statement. You want to make sure that you have a topic sentence at the beginning of the first two body paragraphs that really shows the main idea of that paragraph in a clear way. And then that you have plenty of evidence within the body paragraphs that helps to support those reasons, which help to support the thesis statement. Okay? And as you're going along, remember that you can also use signal words to orient the reader and show connections between different things, right? Furthermore, here's another point, similar to the last point, but not the same. However, now I'm going to say something that is a little different than what I was just saying. However, or but, you know. So, or even more important. This is a signal phrase that's saying, now I'm going to talk about something slightly different, and it's even more important than the point I was just making. Thus, therefore, so, as a result of what I was just saying, this thing I'm about to say is true. So remember to use signal words, too, as you're actually drafting your persuasive essay. All right, I hope this all made sense. I'm sure that there are some questions, and Leslie can help you with those. Thank you all.
Save one more time. File menu and press save.